What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. Let's just go ahead, not waste any time, and address the elephant in the room here. Marvel ROK is $150. You guys are absolutely buck wild on this market. Everyone's favorite meme card is finally worth some money. I actually think it's hilarious. This was like the most memed on card ever, and it's actually potentially viable. I don't believe in a ROK deck that blocks 9 and swings 7 every turn, but I mean, maybe. Hey, maybe. It's possible. It's possible. We got to see the rest of the cards. I'm holding out on buying one until I see the rest of the cards because you just never know. You never know what the rest of the cards are going to look like in the expansion slot and whatnot. But I just found it funny, and definitely everyone needs to know that ROK is sky high, $150. That's pretty interesting. Moving on. Edge of Autumn, we know the Ira Armory deck stuff got spoiled pretty heavily. And Cold Foil Edge of Autumn is $150, which is kind of a lot, but it is also, in the first three, right? Crucible, Arcane Rising, WTR, those cold foils are always worth an insane amount of money. Edge of Autumn is clearly no exception. And, Armory deck hype, $150. I actually would recommend not buying this as I do for most of the things that could easily rotate, right? So I never recommend people buy Marvel Heroes or cold foil weapons that could rotate. And Edge of Autumn is no exception to that advice I typically give. Once Ira is gone, Edge of Autumn is gone. But it is worth noting that Katsu also uses Edge of Autumn. So you're getting a little bit of a cross-hero playability in Edge of Autumn. Just kind of interesting that it's going up that much. Moving on, Savage Sash. Cheapest Savage Sash is $40, and there's only like 6 on the market total. One of them's Japanese. And the Armory deck, I know you're thinking it's just an Armory deck card. $100. The Armory deck is $100, which is just genuinely crazy. But so yeah, anyway, the Savage Sashes are pretty much disappearing, and the Armory deck that they come from is also disappearing. The only other reprint that Savage Sash has had currently is in a Judge pack as a cold foil, so even more expensive than all this stuff by a lot. One of the better equipment pieces in the entire game, as well as in the Brute class, so it's pretty reasonable to assume that chess piece will be played in the new heroes. Moving on, Conqueror of the High Seas, way cheaper than everyone anticipated the card would be. Cheapest copy on the market is only $32 for the non-foil, and the Rainbow's $36, basically the same price. Pretty insane since it's playable in 3 heroes. I guess 2 of the heroes are not particularly competitively viable at the moment. It's really just gravy. But yeah, still wild to see it this cheap. I'm wondering if it's like, not only because it's like non-foil, rainbow foil, and it's in the treasure pack, and it's a Nats entry promo. I don't hate it being this cheap. I'm not complaining by any means. I guess it's good that these kind of cards are like more accessible to people. But yeah, just kind of surprising to everyone. Moving on. Chum, on the other hand, is like just as expensive as Conqueror of the High Seas, despite only being playable in gravy. This is what's making me think that all of the alternate printings of Conqueror of the High Seas are kind of pushing the price of the regular one down so much. Cheapest Whaler Humperdinck going down quite a bit. Cheapest copy on the market is $16. A lot of people are cutting this card, or at least trimming down copies. I see a lot of lists playing either 1 or 2 of this card while everyone's still playing 3 Chum. So that's an obvious reason for the price discrepancy there. Moving on, the regular ROK is $10 and the Rainbow Foil ROK is $15. Pretty crazy stuff. Moving on, Prismatic Leyline, cheapest copy on the market is $14. We talked about this card a little bit on the last market watch, so no surprise to fans of the channel that it's going up, just kind of reporting on that. Moving on, Claw of Vynserakai, cheapest copy on the market is $20. No one could really be mad at this one, like we didn't see this coming, because we didn't talk about it explicitly, but of course this would happen with this card, right? It's just the what's the dagger from the last set? The Hunter's Clave. It's just Hunter's Clave all over again. I guess the mark that we may have missed on this card was it's a sideboard card, so it's like a little bit more nuanced, and you maybe only need 1 Claw of Vynserakai. And Claw of Vynserakai is also only really playable in one hero, but that hero is like very competitively viable. One of the best heroes in the game, like S tier hero, right? It's like Verdance, Syndra, and Gravy, like 3 best heroes in the game, no contest. So yeah, different variety of factors affecting this price. I think, you know, since it's only playable in one hero and you probably, most lists I think only play one of it, that kind of makes sense that it's not as expensive as Clave, but it's also more competitively viable than any of the assassins, right? So makes sense that it is still expensive. And since it's an expansion slot weapon, we all know that those are printed at a lower rate than all of the other Majestics, of course, because if you opened a playset of these, it would just feel bad, right? Because you don't need 3. So they printed a little less frequently. But yeah, no one should be super surprised by this, but just crazy how quickly it went up. It was $5 for a couple weeks there, just shot to the moon. Moving on, Beast Within, again, one of the better brute cards. Cheapest copy on the market is $12. I'm not going to talk about all these brute cards too much because I've probably done it 10 or 20 times on the channel, so I'm not going to go over why I think Beast Within or Swing Big are good cards. I'm just going to report the price and keep it pushing. Cheapest Swing Big on the market is $29. I'm curious on the Rainbow Foil is only $32. This is probably like the best brute staple ever, so I value this one a little bit more than I would to like a card like Beast Within, because this one's like also contingent on having Go Again and discarding and like making use of the card. That's why I say you need Go Again. So it's like just so much more things need to go right for Beast Within. Whereas Swing Big, I don't care who you are, what hero, what class, what weapon. It doesn't really matter on any of that almost. It's like Swing Big's always just a good card. Moving on. Pearl Amulet is the one I bring up. This one's going up a little bit here. Cheapest copy on the market is $18. But honestly, all of the amulets, like, we should just have a copy of each of the amulets if we're a serious collector in this game. Maybe not if you're like a new player. This isn't like the first thing you should be picking up. But like this one, destroy this to untap target permanent. Like we all know that this card's gonna eventually untap something to extend a combo to do 20 additional damage, right? Like it's no secret. We've all played card games before. This card just screams it's gonna be broken in a combo deck at some point. So why are we waiting for that to happen? Why are we waiting for that to be broken? They have proven that they're kind of leaning towards the tap mechanic over the once per turn mechanic moving forward. It's in the Ira Armory deck, and it was in the new set of cards. I'm struggling to remember the name of the new set. But yeah, anyway, we know that they want to continue tapping, and anyone who's played card games before knows that being able to activate a once per turn ability twice in the same turn could just extend to like a crazy astronomical combo, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, I don't know. For $17, I think it's worth it. I think they're all worth it. I think, you know, this is the most obvious one that could really extend and push a combo to the moon. But I think any of them could potentially do that, right? Even like the one that opts or the one that taps all your opponent's stuff, like they're all potential to do very insane things, and some of them are like $7, $5, $10, $15. I think if you're a serious collector, I think it's worth having all of them if you're like a very franchise player in the game. Again, if you're a new player, none of that applies to you. Just get the cards you need to play, but I think all this stuff will be broken one day. Moving on, Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. Cheapest copy on the market is $10.25. Definitely going up because of the Ira Armory deck. Everyone's trying to cook with those cards in Katsu or just play them in Ira. Either way, I have not seen a build yet that didn't play Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. So yeah, it seems like they're really not trying to play Mask of Momentum, which is better for new players, right? Because it's so much cheaper. But it is going up quite a bit, right? If we look at the graph here, everything... It used to be $5 for the longest time. And you know what's weird too? If we look at the sales history, you have to sign in now to view all the sales history. What? I don't know who TCG player thinks they're the New York Times or something. They want to charge us a subscription fee soon or something. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. Cheapest copy, $10. It's going up, but the cold foil has not moved. Cheapest cold foil on the market is only $16. So if you're going to get it, please, please, please do yourself a favor and pick up the cold foil Mask of the Pouncing Lynx over the regular. Much better deal. It will definitely retain its value. Moving on. Cheapest copy of Send Packing is $15. This one is a pretty safe bet to be a good card as well. Pretty much every brute has dabbled with it at some point. Yeah, I said I'm not going to talk about it too much. You guys know about scent packing. Moving on, Scowling Flesh Bag. There is one copy. Oh, wait, I don't even think there is anymore. Maybe if I refresh, it's gone. Hold on. Stand by. Yep, there's one cold foil copy of Scowling Flesh Bag on the market for $68, and then it jumps up to $85, of which there's 2 copies, and then it jumps up to $100. Scowling Flesh Bag, again, one of the best equipments in the game. We don't need to go into it. It's going up very quickly. If you don't have one, I highly recommend grabbing one. Same goes for Apex Bonebreaker. Apex Bonebreaker is kind of shooting up as well. Cheapest Rainbow Apex Bonebreaker is $80, and the cheapest cold foil is only $87. That one also shoots up somewhat quickly, but if you're going to get it, highly recommend the cold foil over the rainbow. Moving on, Crown of Dominion. There's a few snipes this morning. There's a few good cards to pick up, and this is one of them. Cheapest copy is $100. There's only one of it, and then it jumps right up to $150, and then it jumps right up to $170 for a rainbow. So very few copies of Crown of Dominion, obviously because of the Gravy Bones hype. Moving on, Rampart of the Ram's Head, the new gold main hero, the one that has 5 intellect. All of his stuff blocks for 1 less, or half, I'm sorry. So it doesn't really make sense to block with things. It makes more sense to get value defensively by not blocking, right? And Rampart of the Ram's Head is the obvious way to do that. I think the new hero's hero power is like pay to give your stuff +1 defense. Kind of curves perfectly into Rampart of the Ram's Head. If you block with 4 cards, pitch a blue to give them all +1 and block with Rampart, you're going up a lot of value that you initially lost from your hero power. Rampart seems like just such an obvious inclusion in the deck, especially because he also wouldn't want to play a 2-power hammer because every card you own is halved, right? So if you play like Anathos, it's going to come in for 2. If you play Sledge, it's going to come in for 3. Like, why even play a 2-handed hammer at that point? You might as well just play Rampart. Moving on, Dragon Scaler Flight Path, kind of stabilized a bit, I guess we could say. Cheapest copy of the rainbow foil is $65, and the cheapest cold foil is like $90. So it's kind of stabilizing, coming down a little bit here. Syndra just feels like where Aurora was, like during that last ProQuest season that LL'd her. It's like everyone who has the deck has the deck. The cards aren't really moving a lot, but they're also not going down because she's a very competitive hero. So yeah, all the cards kind of feel like safe in their price at this current moment. But if she falls out of favor, I could see it all falling quite a bit. So if you're not playing her, I would say hold off. But if you're interested in playing her, with the new LL rules, I think she'll be around for quite some time. So it's probably worth picking it up. Moving on, Codex of Frailty has absolutely tanked since the reprint. Cheapest copy on the market is $47, which is less than half of what it was prior to the reprint. Granted, it needed a reprint. But yeah, it just sucks to see your cards lose half their value overnight. Moving on, Earthlore Bounty, the extended art. This is the card that's kind of made to work with Valda. Everyone is so hype on the new Armory deck and the new Heavy Hitter set. I don't remember what it's called, forgive me. That they are kind of forgetting that the Mastery Pack Guardian is going to be only Valda. It's going to be an entire Valda set. So it seems logical to pick up some Valda support cards. And yeah, fans of the channel know that this card, I don't know why I like talking about it so much. It's just such a pretty card for so cheap. Feels like it should be a legendary. I don't know. I talk about it all the time, so I'm not gonna get into one of my Earthlore Bounty rants. But moving on, Crown of Providence, the cold foil is $250. I haven't checked in on this card in a while, so it's kind of crazy to see it that high. Cheapest rainbow foil is $150 as well. Yeah, I mean, we all know it's one of the best headpieces in the game, probably the best headpiece in CC. Maybe in LL it's a little bit debatable between this and Balance, but in CC it's not close. It's Crown. But I mean, actually, I say it's not close, but that's funny I say that because the next card I want to talk about was Skullcap. Cheapest Skullcap on the market is $19. So if you're a new player getting into the game and you see Crown of Providence as like unobtainably expensive, which I totally relate to, it is crazy, $150. I just recommend just grabbing a Skullcap because it is better some percentage of the time, right? It just kind of depends how the game shakes out. Like some heroes, like really like Crown of Providence, but even those heroes, right? Like even Verdance, who's like making Ponder tokens and arsenaling bad blues to be able to cycle them with Crown of Providence and stuff. There's like non-zero amount of games where Skullcap's just going to be better anyway, even in Verdance. So I think it's worth it if you're a new player to pick up the other cards that you can't really replace, right? Like CNC, there's no replacement for CNC. There's not a card that's like, oh, this card's basically just as good as CNC and sometimes better. There's not really a card like that. It's just CNC. It's just Spring Tunic. There's not a close comparison. Whereas the head slot, yeah, I always like to talk about stuff like this because this information is just so well known by the broad community. But if you're a new player getting into the game, like I remember when I first got into the game, there was no content, no one saying this out loud. So that's why I just want to put it out there. Skullcap is like narrowly worse than Crown of Providence. Moving on, too much of a rant. Carrion Husk, cheapest copy on the market is $60. Man, this card's gone down quite a bit because of the LL ban. Makes a lot of sense. I am skeptical to believe that this card is going to stay banned forever, one. And two, we all know another Monarch set is coming out. We have been told by the developers that it's coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be the next set after this Heavy Hitters S set we're getting. If not, then I think it's going to be probably the first set of 2026. Either way, it will have Shadow Heroes in it, and if it has Shadow Heroes in it, then it makes sense that Carrion Husk will be played in those heroes. Yeah, cheapest copy, $60. This is cheaper than it's probably ever been, to my memory anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't remember it being cheaper than this, so if you're interested in Shadow Heroes, could be a good pickup. Moving on, Slap Happy. This is the EA promo Slap Happy. This card used to be like, for just a brief moment when like Bolton was running it, this card went up to like $15. And I think it could be good in the new Guardian because like we talked about before, you need to find ways to get value without blocking. And Slap Happy is pretty much always 3 value, right? Prevent 2 damage, make a vigor, 3 value. I mean, you just got to find a way to make use of that vigor and everything. But if you're playing like reactions as well, right? Because you kind of want to play pumps and reactions in that deck anyway, because you want to try and mitigate the downside of his hero power. Slap Happy making a vigor to be able to facilitate something like CNC Pummel. I don't know. It seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. I think it could cook, and I think it could return to that former price tag it was at, especially with the current low supply. What is there? 13 copies of it right now. So for only $250, I think it's worth a pickup. Moving on, Copper Cog, the cold foil Copper Cog. This was the buy a case promo, I think. They changed it. It used to be buy a box. Now it was a buy a case promo. I don't remember what store though. $90. So if you want to foil out a deck that plays like 6 Copper Cogs, I kind of feel for you. But use this as a lesson to say you pretty much just should never pre-order from your LGS because they're not getting cold foil Copper Cogs. And that sucks because I want to pre-order from my LGS. I want to support my LGS. But hey, if SCG and Rudy and Team Covenant are getting $90 promos, then hey, that's who you should buy from. And yeah, be smart with your money, I guess. Buy singles from your LGS and then buy sealed from those guys, I guess. I don't know what else to say. It's just obvious that you have to buy from the people who have the promos. Hey, I just report the market, man. Moving on, Vynserakai. This is just the cheapest Vynserakai you can buy. The cheapest one that's not moderately played is $11. That's funny because it's finally happening. Like when Majestic Heroes first came out, everyone was like, they're gonna be so expensive and new players will never be able to afford them. And then the Majestic Heroes came out and they were all 75 cents or 25 cents or whatever for like years and years. This is the first one I think that we're finally seeing spike up a little bit, and it's $10. So it's still accessible, but let's see how many is there. There's only 14 on the market. So if you have Vynserakai in your bulk, you could be sitting on some money you didn't know you had. You could be making a new player's day by listing it a little bit cheaper. So yeah, go through your bulk, I guess. Moving on, I have Ophidia. Speaking of very cheap cards, I have Ophidia. Cheapest copy on the market is $500. Absolutely crazy, but very warranted. One of the best fableds in the game, obviously. And opting with all of the gold running around is, yeah, I don't need to tell you, it's a very powerful interaction. You guys already know Ivaphidia is crazy. Moving on, Flick Flack. This is the red EA alt art Flick Flack from last year's national season. The cheapest copy on the market is only $20, and I don't know, this card is kind of gas. It looks beautiful. I mean, Flick Flack printed on the card is 1 card 6, right? So everyone's always liked Flick Flack, and with that new Ira Armory deck, I think it kind of cooks. I don't know, $20. I personally bought a playset, and I'm not even a Ninja guy. Moving on, Oasis Respite. This is also the alt art EA Oasis Respite. I think that especially the generic ones, these alt art EAs go crazy. Look at Ravenous Rabble. What is that card? Like $120, something like that. Oasis is just waiting for its time. It only needs either Kano to be good, or this card, again, we're just going to say it once more, the new gold main hero, the 5 intellect hero. You need to find ways to get the full value out of your cards without a blocking or attacking with them. That's kind of the puzzle you need to figure out. And Oasis is a obvious path to get the full value out of your cards. Cheapest copy on the market is $89, $40 basically. Oh wait, I said 89, I'm sorry. 39. I don't know why I said 89. Basically $40 for the cheapest Oasis Respite. I think it's well worth it. I think you should have a playset. Again, I think one day it'll be at that Ravenous Rabble price tag. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link in the description below if you plan on purchasing any of this stuff. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, help the algorithm help me out just a little bit. That's all I got for you guys. Later, gamers.